How we doing? Fox back again for sound design tutorials. A little bit different today. I had a request from somebody. It's a chap called Matt Wilson who wanted me to remake a bass from this track. It's Phill and Chris Lorenzo, Summertime Madness. He wanted me to do it with Sylenth. I had a go. I went off on a tangent and ended up making a bass all on my own. I sent him a link and he said he really liked it, so I'm going to do a tutorial on that. So it's not actually, I didn't actually end up recreating the bass in the end, but I'll call it an Phill style deep house bass or something, or new disco bass, because it's like the one that he gave me, but it turned out a bit different. Nonetheless, it's still a good bass, so I'm going to show you that. This is what we're going with. There you go, lovely. Really pleased with that. It's one of my own. So it was a bit like the one that he gave me, but not enough for me to warrant showing you it to compare it. But yeah, as always, link in the description. Download this patch for free. It's yours. Check me out on Facebook. If you've got any requests of your own, make sure you subscribe to my Facebook page. It's Sound Design Tutorials. The only way I will do requests is if you send me it as a message through Facebook, giving me a link to the video and a time at where it comes in. Also, what synth you want me to use. So yeah, let's get to it. Quite a lot going on in this one. 2 parts. Both different envelopes, both different filters with different envelopes. The only effect I've got is a compressor, so it shouldn't take too long, hopefully. So let's initialize this. A solo part A, not that I need to. So we'll set the main amp envelope for part A. It was quite a plucky-ish sound, so the envelope I had like this. As always, not as always, but it's a square wave. The second square wave, the H pulse, I use 4 voices. I uncheck the reed trigger so the voices move freely of each other rather than all starting at the same point. Down 2 octaves. No detune. All I did was pull the stereo around to keep this part of the sound quite centered. Then I used a saw wave. Pitched it down 3 octaves. 4 voices again. I used a bit of detune on this one. Keep the retrig checked for this one. Same thing though, stereo dead center. So yeah, I messed around with different filters. I found a neat trick using a different synth the other day. It's actually putting a bandpass filter on these deep house basses for one part of the sound, and then having a low pass filter with a pluck for the other part of the sound. So that's what I did. I used a bandpass filter, kept it on 24 decibels per octave. Quite a bit of drive. Helps boost the frequencies that are inside a bandpass. When you use a bandpass, it's cutting off a lot of the spectrum. So if you drive it, it helps sort of warm up what you have got left. Quite a bit of resonance. And then we use a filter envelope to close this filter up over time. We're going to use mod envelope 1, set it to cut off 8, and we want to pull it negative to about -8.2. So it's going to close the filter off pretty much all the way shut over the time that we specify with this attack time once the sustain is full. Give it a little bit of release so the notes don't click, and I think I had it on about 4-ish. And the master filter I pulled down as well. This helped me hone the sound and keep it a little bit lower. 53 hertz, I mean, you can do that to taste. If you want to open it up, then keep it as it was. That's part A done, so nothing to it. I did push the fine ever so slightly right on this one and ever so slightly left on this one, just to detune the oscillators between each other and opposed to the detuning of the voices. That's giving us the raspy part of the sound, so we're going to go to part B now. We're going to solo that for now. This is taking care of the deeper bassy part of the sound. So I use a triangle wave. These are real good for basses. 5 voices. Uncheck the retrig. Not that it really matters because we're not detuning any of the voices. Volume on full. Pitch this one down 1 octave. Something a little bit new again for me on a deep house bass. I don't normally do this. I'll give it a bit of a chorded feel, or like playing 2 separate notes by pitching this one down 1 octave. Down 5 semitones. It's also like pitching 0 octave up semitones. 5ths and 7ths are all in key with each other no matter what scale you're in, so it always works. So yeah, again I pulled the stereo around to keep it quite centered. Bit of a tack on this one. This was a more sustained envelope. And then the real subby part of the sound, 8 voices of unison. I kept this one stereo. Although it's the sub sine wave, the stereo didn't really make any difference because I wasn't detuning anything. I pitched this one down 3 octaves. You can just hear that triangle wave mixing with the sine wave, giving it a little bit more emphasis towards the bassy part of the sound. So yeah, we've set the envelope up. As I say, this one was a plucky low pass filter envelope, how I do them all the time with deep house basses. Pull the starting point down to around about 2.983 hertz, something like that. No resonance on this. Drove it again. Use a different envelope for this, cut off B. As opposed to using the attack time to tell us how long we want the bandpass to close, we're going to use no sustain and a decay, because we're opening the filter and then closing it back up again. The attack time on 0 is how long it takes to open, so it's instant, and then the decay time is how long it takes to close. Again, I had this about the same as A on about 4-ish. Tiny little bit of release. And then dial the amount. Okay, we'll go to the mix section now. I'm going to boost the volume of A to around about 7, and I'm going to bring both parts in. Just pull that master filter down a bit. There was a little bit too much of the raspiness coming through on part A, so we'll just pull that down again. 38 hertz. Sounding good. All I did now was compress it to sort of bring everything in check. The ratio of 2/1. Threshold I had real high just in case anything comes through, around about -3, -2. Reasonable attack time about 80 milliseconds and a release of about 190, 230, something like that. Compressor's only going to be kicking in on some of those higher notes where some of the frequencies are getting through. But yeah, that's the patch done. A little bit more fiddly than some of the ones I've done in regards it's 2 parts, 2 separate filters, 2 different amp envelopes, 2 different envelopes controlling the filters. But that's the only way you can make these sounds sometimes. What did I do? I checked it mono as well. Bring the beat back in. Let's set the mod wheel to control. Cut off A. Let's give it a little bit right. And we'll get it to do cut off B as well. A little bit right. So we can open the sound up if we want with the mod wheel. resave that now because it's different to how I had it originally. Save preset. What's this one called? What did I say it was going to be? It was going to be inspired, wasn't it? Fucking hell, what was the track? Bear with me. Phill. So we'll call this Phill. Yeah, so that's it. Like I say, grab this patch, link in the description. Check me out, Facebook and Google+. Thanks for watching. Cheers.